Unbelievable, truly unbelievable stuff. But if I didn't tell you, then I would be lying. Only in the world of boxing, the WBC has come out and taken their stance on a fighter who failed a PED test and he avoided suspension. That's right, you heard it. Franciso Rodriguez avoids suspension despite his fight now being a no contest, despite Rodriguez testing positive for a banned substance. Woo, you hate to see it. Let's get into the video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. WBC has come out and officially announced their stance. They have opted to not suspend fighter Franciso Rodriguez. He had a 12-round fight with Galal Yafai in the UK. He dropped him, hurt him, and instead, WBC decided to put a guy who failed a drug test, Franciso Rodriguez, on a 12-month probation period. They changed the results of the bout, so now it's a no contest. They reinstated the guy who lost, which is Yafai, and they also ordered a rematch. I mean, so many things that are wrong, but let me finish reporting the news and then stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give you my truest thoughts. So if you haven't heard, VADA collected a sample from Rodriguez fight night, and it wasn't declared until testing was run after the fight had already concluded that Rodriguez popped dirty and he had failed for a banned substance known as heptiminol, right? And this is a banned substance, so that's where we're at. Keep in mind, Rodriguez, the one who failed the test, set CompuBox records in his performance. And then his opponent had to go to the hospital, and it took 2 weeks to recover. So you could have hurt the man for real. And then now the WBC has ruled that he didn't do it on purpose. It was, quote, accidental, unintentional, unknowing, and not direct to enhance performance. Wow. That, I mean, what? Like, what are we talking about? Right? They put Rodriguez on probation, and you have people who are mad from Yafai's team. They said it's absolutely ridiculous, which I agree to. And again, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give my thoughts. Finally, WBC says, quote, after a thorough, factual, and scientific review of the adverse finding and considering champion Rodriguez's admission of circumstances of non-intentional ingestion of a banned substance, the fact that Mr. Rodriguez had reported in his WBC clean boxing program registration document the use of a over-the-counter energy booster, which the label included 2 banned substances, right? And that's why he's being punished in this way. Okay, so in layman's terms, he got a slap on the wrist. He, instead of like being banned for a year, 2 year, whatever, he has a 1 year probation. So he can fight again right now if he wants to. Then you reward him with the rematch, which you have to pay for services rendered. So he would get paid. Now he has another opportunity to fight the same dude. Like, like only in boxing do you see this stuff. Now, let's be real. The WBC looks crazy here because continually when they have Hispanic and Latino fighters who are popping dirty, you have a company who was founded in Mexico, which is the WBC, and they continue to try to help and bail out certain fighters. They continue to help and bail out certain fighters. So, for example, this dude is Mexican. He's from Mexico, right? And they're doing him a favor by allowing him to get a rematch and not actually suspending it and saying, oh, he took an energy booster. First of all, your team is foolish, right? If they are allowing you to just consume any type of product ahead of your biggest fight or one of your biggest fight. And then this report, the label says that it has 2 banned substances on it, or at least 1, right? So why are your team allowing you to take something like that? Second, I don't really, it seems too cookie cutter. Like, you can have a person who pops dirty, finds out what they pop for, and then try to reverse engineer it and explain it away and say like, oh, you know, I took this and it had it in it. All you have to do is a Google search, get the right people to see what products or supplements have shown traces of ostarine or hematopol or whatever, you know, whatever you pop dirty for. And then you can say, hey, this is what I took. Because as far as the documentation, this is what they're saying. They're not showing us. They're just saying that the WBC received some declaration forms, blah, blah, blah. But my question is this. What a coincidence that it continues to be Hispanic, Latino, and Mexican fighters where they're changing the rules. They're like going soft. Like, for example, just hear me out. Canelo Alvarez, he popped with clenbuterol, and they're like, we believe Canelo. We don't see why Canelo would cheat. He was about to fight Golovkin, and Golovkin, a lot of people thought Golovkin won the first fight. He's a hard puncher, and you know, who knows what a person would do. Then you have about five Mexican fighters who tested positive for clenbuterol, like right around the same time or a little bit after Canelo Alvarez, right? WBC then changed the amount of clenbuterol you can have in your system. These are the facts, right? I could go on and on. You had that female, it was a female boxer, right? And the WBC says they're friends with her personally, and they took her side and says, we don't believe she would do that. And her name was Alejandra Jimenez, and she fought Franchon Cruz Dezern. And then the WBC, again, they were backing her. So again, another Mexican fighter they were backing who popped dirty and cheated, right? So it's like, and then we haven't even heard from the Jimenez ever again. I've never heard about her fighting again ever since that moment, because she popped dirty and then they couldn't really find a reason to justify what she had in her system. And then we never heard from her ever again, right? And then now you have this situation with Rodriguez who pops dirty, and then you see this reaction from the WBC. How come the WBC, every time it's a Latino, Hispanic, Mexican fighter, remember Oscar Valdez, and he had phentermine, and they're like really going to bat for certain fighters and helping them through. But then you have a clean boxing program. What's the point of the clean boxing program if someone can pop dirty and then you take it lightly because they said it was an accident? And if there's no bias, then tell me, why does it continue to happen with the WBC and predominantly Latino Mexican fighters, right? Mexican fighters, right? Eddie Reynoso, he has like 7 people that pop dirty, and the WBC, we don't hear no like, oh, this is crazy, this is outrageous. You had Jimenez, you have Rodriguez, you have, even when Danny Garcia fought against Eric Morales, he popped for clenbuterol. They still allowed the fight to happen and still allowed for it to be a title fight. So it's like, how are all these fighters popping? And it's not just clenbuterol. It's not just one thing. These fighters are popping dirty and, you know, still being able to fight. Now you reward this dude who just popped dirty with a slap on the wrist, a probation, no real suspension or punishment, no fine, and you're talking about clean boxing program, and you want to clean up the sport. How do you want to clean up the sport like that? That don't make sense to me, you know? And again, look it up. Everything I'm saying, Danny Garcia, the rematch. You had a WBC belt on the line because Danny Garcia was a WBC champion, and Morales got stripped of his title in the first fight for not making weight, and he got dropped in the 11th round. So Danny Garcia, he was a WBC champion, then he fought Morales, then he tested positive for clenbuterol. So a guy in the first fight struggled to make weight to the point where he wasn't eligible for his title, Eric Morales. Then in the second fight, he has clenbuterol, which has been used to lose weight, and it's a stimulant and it's a banned substance. And every single time the WBC seems to like almost pardon these people. So this looks bad. I don't care what y'all talking about. This look bad. But again, if you disagree and you say, oh, this is a non-issue, Ego, then tell me, why does it keep happening with predominantly Mexican fighters and a Mexican company founded in Mexico like the WBC, right? You never, like, when is the WBC taking a hard stance against a Mexican fighter, right? Remember Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., right? All the stuff, missing weight, and he just got deported. I have never seen the WBC like go hard on somebody and condemn somebody and say the behavior. But then when Devin Haney, a black fighter, when he says that he'll never lose to a white boy, they made him apologize. When Wilder said, oh my God, another black fighter, when Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder said, oh my God, I want a body on my record so bad, the WBC tried to make Wilder apologize. But you're not making none of these Mexican fighters who keep popping dirty apologize. If anything, you're changing the clenbuterol levels. You're vouching for their character like Canelo and Jimenez. You're putting this new dude on a light suspension, not even a suspension, a probation, and giving him a rematch. Why do you get rewarded with a rematch for popping dirty? And all you had to do is like, oh, I didn't know. I mean, imagine me going to Atlanta right now, renting a car, and I'm doing 150 on the freeway, and then the cop arrests me for reckless driving or gives me a ticket, and I'm like, oh, I'm from California. I didn't know, man. I didn't know the speed limit. I mean, ignorance is no excuse. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard.